Ganagana Tahe Janjira Roy, Prima Dala Dala Sonora Anga, Karane Nuduparaje, Mukunda Madhava Jadava Hari, Olena Bolore Badana Bori, Bechenija Bese, Elore Rate, Tibasa Sharira Saje, Emona Tulaba Manava Deho. Ayake Koro, Hovana Keho, Ebena Boily J, Jashoda Sutta, Parame Poribela J, Utita Tapana, Dinagelo Bole Hoibe, Yasta, Ehe Keno Ebe, Alasa Hoy, Labrajo Rijoya Raje, Kibana Adika. So, Anina Bida, Bipada Ba, Namashraya Kori, Jatane to me, Takuha Apana Kaje, Jibera Kayana Sadana Kam. Jagate Asiye Majoranam, Abhija Timura, Tapana Rupe, Rigangane Biraje, Krishna Nam Sudakori Apan, Uro Bakatavino da Pran, Namabina Kichu, Nakiko, Nahiko Ara, Chada Bhuvana Ba Maje. Now, if I could have got this over to you, Mother, I would have got it to you. But I didn't. So you had to tough it with me. This is what you're going to get. Translation. When the eastern horizon became tinged with the redness that heralds the rising of the sun, the jewel among the Brahmanas, Lord Gaurasundar, immediately awakened. Taking his devotees with him, he journeyed through the towns and villages of Nadia. The mridangas resound tatai tatai in quick succession, and the cymbals chimed in time. Lord Gauranga's golden form slightly trembles in ecstatic love of Godhead, and his foot bells jingle. Lord Chaitanya calls out to the town folk, "You spend your nights uselessly sleeping and your days decorating your bodies. Now just fill your mouths with the holy names, Mukunda, Madhava, Yadava, and Hari, chanting without offense. You have achieved this rare human body. Don't you care for this gift? If you do not worship the darling of Mother Jashoda now, then great sorrow awaits you at the time of your death. With every rising and setting of the sun, a day passes and is lost. Why then do you remain idle and not serve the Lord of the heart? You should understand this essential fact. Life is temporary and filled with various kinds of misery. Therefore, carefully take shelter of the holy name and remain always engaged in his service as your eternal occupation. Desiring to shower benedictions upon all living entities, this sweet name of Krishna has descended to this material universe and shines like the sun in the sky of the heart, destroying the darkness of ignorance. Without the holy name, there is nothing within all the 14 worlds. Drink the pure nectar of the holy name of Krishna, and thus satisfy the soul of Thakur Bhaktivinoda. Is that juicy? This is the sweetness. And that's part one. And the part two, you've heard it on top, is Jeev Jango, Jeev Jango. Pura Chanda Bole, Kuta Nidra, Jai Homaya, Isachira Kole, Boji Bobolia Ise. Samsara bitore, uliyaro hile to me, abijana bole, tumare loite ame, wainu avatara, Ami bina ben bandu ara. Ke ache tomara. Ineche asade maya. Nasiboro laji. Harinama Mahamantra. Lord to me maje. Bhakti Vinoda Prabhu. Charane Poriya. Say Hari Maha Nama Mantra. Loilo Majiya. Lord Garanga calls, wake up, sleeping souls, wake up, sleeping souls. You have slept so long in the lap of the witch, Maya. You come into this world saying, oh my Lord, I will certainly worship you, but having forgotten this promise, you remain in great ignorance. I have descended just to save you. Other than myself, who else is your friend? I have bought the medicine for destroying the illusion of Maya. Now beg for this Maha Mantra and take it. Thakur Bhaktivinoda fell at the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga, and after begging for the holy name, he received that Maha Mantra. Bolo, bolo. So this is nectar. It's so sweet. When you find something, you have to share it. And I remember I was just a young, kind of like a boy coming to, to the temple and chanting all these prayers. Oh, what are they saying? What's the words? They would have an effect. They would touch me slightly. And as I'm trying to rehabilitate myself, I'm moving backwards. I'm finding old gems, things from the past that we used to have. This was a part of our morning program. First, there's Mangala Artik. But before Mangala Artik, there's that cold shower. Okay, you're not brahmacharis and brahmacharinis. I don't take it anymore either. But that was that cold shower. And if that doesn't get you moving, nothing's going to get you moving. And I have 15 minutes to tilak and dress. And then can sit down and chant the Maha Mantra. Beg. Then we go visit. It's time for Mangala Artik. And Mangala Artik, there's only one way to really attend Mangala Artik. You chant and dance. You just dive right into the morning program. And right after that, it's time to worship Tulsi, Mother Devotion. And, it's the morning program is so ecstatic. And I was thinking, many of us don't have a morning program, but in trying to go deeper with the holy name, there's a cultivation which is needed. You need you're going to need to surround yourself with positive spiritual habits and practices that strengthen your resolve to have this relationship with Krishna. Fingering the beads is one thing, but when it's time to finger the beads, can I be present? In other words, will I be there fingering the beads, saying the name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare? Will I be present? Srila Prabhupada said, chant and hear. What is the difficulty? But we know when we chant and it's time to hear, sometimes we've been dragged away. Our body is still there, but our consciousness has been taken away. So that's why we talk about staying present. When we're present, we are there. There's no getting around, getting away from it. We're there, present, not in the future, what's going to happen, not stuck in the past, the mistakes I made, the things that I did nicely, whatever. The past is past, and the future hasn't come yet. But if we stay in the present, well, I'm going to steal a phrase from one of the old guys from the 60s. Be here now. You stay right in the present. And so in the present, we need to fortify ourselves with the proper association. So I'll share different prayers from time to time, but if you can get close, if you're close to the temple, then once a week, you can say on a weekend, you'll go to the temple and you'll attend the program. And soon I'll do Japa down here on Saturday mornings. I remember when we used to be on the deck, we used to have so much fun. We used to do yoga. I saw an old picture of Yoga for Life. We used to do wake up yoga, so many different things. And all these different processes were part of our evolving. And now we're trying to go deeper in our devotional practice. So anyway, last week, I gave everybody the Shashatika prayers. And you don't have to hide. I don't care how you look. I love seeing your faces. I love seeing that you're present. So now, the mothers, I tell you, I've got so many mothers. I had one good old mother, and now my mother would be surprised to realize that I have so many mothers now. She'd be happy for me, There's nothing like a mother's love. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I could just sit here and chant the Shashatika prayers and you could just get bored listening to me, or I chant one and then somebody else is ready and they chant one, and before you know it, all 8 is done. Because this is also a part of the old program. Before we chanted our japa, we get up. See, the translations changed now. The old translation that I had, I'm trying to get it out of my head. So I want the translations from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So first, Mother Shobharati, how are you feeling this morning?
Feeling fine, thank you.
Mother, I'm sorry I butchered that this morning, but I had to get it out. I've got to find a way to get you.
I had cut and pasted from from Veda-based Chaitanya Charitamrita. Is that the translation you're looking for?
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. I'm talking about. I got to get you Bhakti Vinod's some of Bhakti Vinod's prayers.
Yeah.
So so you can so they don't have to suffer so much.
See if this translation works.
Where's the English? Let me see. Let there be victory. Yep. Holy name of Krishna. Oh, Mother, that's good. Oh, let's go for it. Get to number 1.
Okay.
And we're going to take our turns. Okay. I'm starting. Get the party started. And as you go, it's your turn. You're just going to unmute, and one person's going to do it at a time. This is what we're going to do. Cheto Darpanamanjanam, Baba Mahada Vagni Nirvapanam, Preya Kavara Chandrika, Vitiranam Vijavadu Jivanam, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, Prakipadam Pranam, Touchvadanam, Sarvat Masnapanam Param, Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankritanam.
Let there be all victory for chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. That chanting is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste the full nectar at every step.
Mother.
Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Saktish Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaivam idrasham ihajani nanuraga. My Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name there is all good fortune for the living entity, and therefore you have many names, such as Krishna and Govinda, by which you expand yourself. You have invested all your potencies in those names, and there are no hard and fast rules for remembering them. My dear Lord, although you bestow such mercy upon the fallen, conditioned souls by liberally teaching your holy names, I am so unfortunate that I commit offenses while chanting the holy name, and therefore I do not achieve attachment for chanting.
Janadapi Sunishena, Tadapi Sunishena, Manina Mandena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respects to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord.
Nandanam Nanjanam Nansuduram Kavitam Ba Jagadishikamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishvare Bhavitat Bhakti Haitukitoye. You know, anyone can do this who wants to. O Lord of the universe, I do not desire material wealth, materialistic followers, a beautiful wife, or fruit of activities described in flowery language. All I want, life after life, is unmotivated devotional service to you.
Ayinanda tanuja kinkaram patitanam amvishame bhavam budal kripaya tava pada pankaja shtitaduli sadrisham vischintaya. O my Lord, O Krishna, son of Maharaj Nanda, I am your eternal servant, but because of my own fruitive acts, I've fallen into this horrible ocean of nescience. Now please be causelessly merciful to me. Consider me a particle of dust at your lotus feet.
Naganam
Galadashu Darayaya Vadanam Garagara Vrudaya Gira Pulakern Nichitam Vapukara Tavanama Grahane Bhavishati. My dear Lord, when will my eyes be beautified by filling with tears that constantly glide down as I chant your holy name? When will my voice falter and all the hairs of my body stand erect in transcendental happiness as I chant your holy name?
Yugayatam namishena chakshusha pravayatam sunyayatam jagat sarvam Govinda Vihirname. My Lord Govinda, because of separation from you, I consider even a moment a great millennium. Tears flow from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I see the entire world as void.
Aslisyava padaratam pinastumam adarshanam marmahatam karotu va yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato mat prananathastu sa eva napara. Let Krishna tightly embrace this maidservant who has fallen at his lotus feet, or let him trample me or break my heart by never being visible to me. He is a debauchee after all and can do whatever he likes, but still he alone and no one else is the worshipable Lord of my heart.
This is just so sweet, so wonderful. And what we want to do is that we just want to chant these prayers regularly. If you chant them and then really meditate on what is being said. You know, Lord Chaitanya is just unbelievable. And this is all he gave us, you know, these 8 standards. But This is it. In chanting, he's told us. And so all of those devotees who are great souls, they're teaching us how to unlock the Shashastika prayers. I can't teach you how to do that, but I know that I can show you how to pray. So my mother taught me how to pray. So I can teach you how to pray. And Lord Chaitanya says, one should chant this in a humble state of mind. And knowledge, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street, more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of pride and false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others and not expecting respect in return. That's a big one. And in such a state of mind, we can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So just take your time, and the point is, this is personal. This is Krishna, and this is the relationship. So as you know, relationships are personal. As we give, then it's received. And Krishna says, as they surrender unto me, I reward them, I reciprocate accordingly. But really, he goes further than we do. Just a little affection, as we open up a little to Krishna, he really begins to send a shower back to us, and we become inundated. But anyway, let's just try to do this. So I was thinking about several things. I was thinking that there was a poem, there was a book I used to distribute at the airport, and I would distribute Prabhupada's books, and then as Satchru Maharaj would write a new book, I distribute my Guru Maharaj's books. I can't remember which book I had, but he told the story in this book of that when he was a young boy, for good attendance at church, he received a picture, a little picture card of Jesus, the Sermon on the Mount, and he received that for his good attendance in church. And so on the back of the card, he said, I wrote, I love you, Jesus. And as young lovers sometimes do, he said, I wrote true. So we all remember the young, innocent infatuation of young boys and young girls. And, but we give our hearts. It's so sweet and innocent. But the same way we give our hearts and innocence, we have to give our hearts and knowledge. But we have to give our hearts to the right person. We have to open our heart to the right source. And the opening of the heart is so essential if we're going to make any advancement in rehabilitating. Because remember, reflecting on the fact that we have an eternal relationship with Krishna, he's in the spiritual world, every word's a song, every step is a dance. I mean, that's the party it's a party that I just got to get to, because I unfortunately, I love having fun. And that could get me in trouble, but I've learned to, anyway, when I came, there was one phrase that in the song, Kevala Anandakanda, that the process of Krishna consciousness is just simply joyful. And that captured me. It's just, I said, I'm in, simply joyful, I'm in. So it is true, but a lot of things that we've become attached to, a lot of habits, our association, we're bombarded with diversions, distractions and things like that. So it's hard to focus. So we have to focus the heart on Krishna. And because Krishna and his name are none different, when we're chanting the name, we need to chant the name, with our heart. And so I don't know, I read so many things on a week, but I think I told you last week, I felt as though there was a section in Satchidananda Swami's living names, the alignment when we sit a certain way and breathe and get the body, mind, and heart, together. And I didn't go for that. Although I thought it was nice, anyway, I had my own problems. And again, I found out the problem was me. Just like oftentimes we deal with devotees or we deal with family members, and somebody's just giving us a hard way to go, or just bringing us a lot of junk. I guess the word they said, a lot of crap, whatever. But I was thinking about that. I think I was telling Drona, and I realized in my own life that stuff is really my fault. You know how you get defensive or you get upset? Well, before you get upset, it's hard to get upset when you say, hey, I'm the cause of this. Remember, everything that we're experiencing is but the reaction of our previous actions. So we have a karmic situation that we're dealing with. And now we've been fortunate enough to bump into devotional life. Many of it snatching out the plug, but the blade and the fan is still spinning. So a lot of that residual karma is still coming our way. But you hear in Bhagavad Gita, Mam Chayovya Bhik Charena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sagunan Samati Jaitan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. Keep ourselves looking at life through the eyes of knowledge, Gana Chakshusha, or through the eyes of the scriptures, Shastra Chakshusha. We have to see that we're tiny, insignificant living entities who, for the most part, are not here because we descended, because we're such good people. We're here because we wanted to enjoy separate from Krishna, and it has not been that good, okay? I mean, speaking for myself, my God project isn't working so well. That's okay. I didn't give up on it, but, and I've also found out the post is taken, and Krishna is not giving up his position as supreme personality of Godhead. Anyway, so much for that. But back to the point of this heart and this alignment. So I went and I pulled up something, and I'm going to read it to you. And this section is called Recovering Our Lost Heart. John, are you hearing me properly?
Yes, Prabhu, I can hear you very good.
Because you tell me sometimes I fade out. So I don't want you to tell me later. If I start fading, somebody tell me now. Okay.
Yeah, there's no fading. Yeah, you're using your computer microphone, yeah?
I'm in a zone. Okay, recovering the lost heart. We all know about our material heart, the organ which pumps blood throughout our body. We also have an emotional heart, the residence for feelings of friendship, community, happiness, integrity, love, inner peace, as well as pain and loss. There is, however, a third and often overlooked heart. This is the most important heart of all, the spiritual heart. It is where our true eternal self resides. Unfortunately, during the course of our daily activities in the present world, this heart can easily get covered over. It is as good as lost and critical to uncover and revive, because only with a healthy spiritual heart can our spiritual life flourish. If the spiritual heart is unhealthy, we are as good as dead spiritually. So how to locate and revive our spiritual heart? We must enter into a devotional relationship with Krishna. I gotta stop for a minute. Somebody call the police, some bundigan, and this gotta be illegal. We must enter into a devotional relationship with Krishna. The third heart is built to experience and express love and spiritual relationships that are being actively nourished. Mechanical practice, inspired by a sense of duty or fear of what will happen to us if we don't do all that is described in the scripture, will not really help us enter into the life-giving realm we long for. Only a vibrant devotional relationship can impress the Lord to exchange with us and answer our longings. Reaching out to Krishna with feeling will flip the switch to the dynamic life we envision in bhakti, and thus our three hearts are satisfied. It is from this deepest place within our spiritual heart that we should chant in japa or kirtan with everything we've got, begging the divine couple for service. In this way, we can sincerely turn to their lordships and address them with devotion. There's a beautiful prayer where a devotee begs for such spontaneous devotional longings. Quote, just as young men desire young ladies, and young ladies desire young men, my dear Lord, may my mind be attracted to you. This is the feeling that devotees express when they want to let go of old karmic impressions and desires that infest the entrance to the spiritual heart. We should yearn to clear the passageway into the temple of the heart, where we will find our real self-expression and spiritual willpower. If we follow that path, Krishna will immediately become attentive. Quote, oh, here is someone calling out to me. I must adopt him under my care. He is now mine. End of quote. Krishna responds when we call him with our heart wide open, even if our heart is closed before chanting. It will open if we really chant the very best we can from our spiritual heart. I got to take a drink of water. I mean, it's just too much nectar flowing this morning. It's too much sweetness. But this is the process. This is who we are. We are devotees who at some point have to acknowledge that we are not great people, that we are not sinless. Actually, we're fallen. Kalo Sudra Sambhavan. In this age of Kali, we're all fallen. So the first thing is, let's not let the mind take us down that alley of grandeur, that we're so wonderful and we've done everything right. We're not that good. We can impress certain people in this realm, in this material realm. We may have nice habits, good manners, proper diction. We know exactly what fork to grab if 4 forks are on the table in front of us. We know it. Get the one first, get the appetizer, get the salad. Okay. But that doesn't make us good at heart. Good at heart means that we've let loose those material desires. We've given up the enjoying spirit. We say no to Maya. What to speak of the fact that we're so covered in ignorance. The fact that I think I'm special is the first sign that lets you know that I am covered. I'm in Maya. Only ignorance, and we don't like to hear that word coming at ourselves, but only ignorance could make me think that I'm something special. When I've abandoned the Supreme Lord, when I've abandoned 3/4 the spiritual sky, I've abandoned all those things that are really good for me. Jiva, Srupahaya, Krishnari Nitya, that's the eternal servant of Krishna. I've abandoned it to come here and get my God project started, trying to be the center of everything. And it's not working. So, by the grace of Bhagavan, Bhagavan Jeev, Guru and Krishna, you know, the bees, the seed of devotion gets implanted. So now, you know, let's see things from the right perspective and start to move on. So now we're talking about the heart. And today we're talking about not the blood pumping one, not the emotional one, but the heart of hearts, our spiritual heart. And I like the point that is made that when it comes to our spiritual heart, even if we can't chant from that place, if we don't have that potency, if we just try and chant sincerely, then the heart will begin to open. Just like the temple, the Ranga temple, because the spiritual heart, it has to open from within. We can't pry it open. It opens up, it opens from within. So as we approach the Supreme Lord, and how do we get this spiritual heart? How do we get this going? There has to be a relationship. Oh, I gotta read that. There has to be a relationship. Without a relationship, what are we doing here? So the relationship is with Krishna. And what do we want to tell him? We want to tell Krishna. We want to acknowledge that, you know, for so long, we've neglected him in this material world. He knows it, but it's nice to hear the truth coming out of the lips of someone who belongs to you. I've abandoned you for so long in this material world. But today, from now on, you know, I'm going to try to surrender to you. I want to become your sincere servant. Please engage me in your service. So we start like that. So, and the relationship, there has to be knowledge of the relationship. That is Sambandhagan. Knowledge of the relationship is that I'm an eternal servant of Krishna. I am not the controller. I am not the enjoyer. I am yours. I am a servant. I am not stronger than Maya. I'm the Jiva. I'm Tatasta. Keep Tatasta. I'm right on the edge. I'm either under Krishna or under Maya, but I'm under somebody. You know, I can't stand alone. So you know, that's who we are. So keep the light on. Keep the light of knowledge on. Don't slip into the darkness. Oh my God. I heard a song, slipping in the darkness. I'm sorry, that's 60s trying to haunt me. It's the kind of thing I'm saying. Keep the door open. Keep the door open. Shut down those other doors. And so we try and we beg. Here's a big word that we got to get in our vocabulary when it comes to spiritual life, the holy name, Krishna. We have to beg. If we won't beg for the nectar, it means we're proud. Well, I don't want to beg, you know. You'll beg voluntarily because you're smart, or you're beg, Krishna, I can't. You know, you think about humiliation comes first a lot of times. When you just keep trying to, Krishna, I can't hear you. Krishna! That's my girl. That's my boy. Please. He doesn't care how we call him, so long as we call him. So the point is, we've got to beg for the nectar. Beg for the inclusion. Beg to be used. Beg to reestablish a relationship. This is rehabilitation. This is Japa rehab. We're not skirting it. We're not pretending, well, yeah, I did my breathing. I got my outfit on, you know, yeah. You got one of those skirts at one of the, I went to Gopi skirt. Yeah. Color's nice. No. None of that stuff works here, okay? Here it gets down to the fact that you're acknowledging how much we need Krishna's mercy on the order of our spiritual master. Don't tell me you don't have one. The Prabhupada's always there. On the order of Guru, we're going to chant this mantra with feeling. We're going to try to reestablish the relationship. And as we attempt to reestablish that relationship with Nam Prabhu, then Chaito Darpana Marjanam, with cleansing the mirror of the heart. See, Lord Nam Prabhu is especially merciful because, yes, it's Krishna. But as you know from Nam Rahasya, Nam Prabhu, he's Krishna, but he goes into a filthy place and he cleans it up so he can take his seat. But as Nam Prabhu begins to cleanse the heart of all those unwanted things, what else happens? There is another light that happens in the heart. Remember, Krishna is so affectionate to us that there's something here in the material world that's not in the spiritual world, dealing with Krishna. What is it? What about Krishna's in the material world that's not in the spiritual world, which shows his love and affection for us?
Mercy.
Mercy's always there. We're born of Krishna's mercy. But I like you going after it. It's Krishna. It's Krishna. What is it?
Lord Chaitanya?
It's Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya in the spiritual world?
Well, I mean, in the
I'm gonna be with the Sankirtan party. Are you kidding? That's the only way I'm going to the spiritual world. Lord Chaitanya's got to get me. He's got to get me to the Rath Yatra so I can see Lord Jagannath. That's the only way I'm going to the spiritual world if Lord Chaitanya takes me. But Chaita Guru is here in our hearts. He's not going back to the spiritual world. They don't need him in the spiritual world. But this is Krishna's mercy. Chaita Guru is there. We are so conscious of our mind. When we go, just leave me alone. Usually our mind is our best friend, so we think, And then after we get beat up, my mind is such a demon, But we're aware of the mind. Why? Because the purified mind is in goodness, but the contaminated mind is this dealing with, passion and ignorance. Give me this, want this, gotta have this. And the lusty mind gets the lusty intelligence and gets the whole planning and scheming commission. We're going to do this. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to do like this. And before you know it, Japa's really out the window because you're such planning and scheming everything that you're bombarding your own self with material desires, with desires that have nothing to do with the reality of who we are, who Krishna is, our purpose in life, our real objective is to become reestablished in this loving relationship. So the first thing we have to do is quiet the mind. And first of all, we just bring the consciousness back. Consciousness is contaminated too, okay? So we got to keep chanting the purified. And I'm gonna tell you something I bumped into the other day. I bumped into my constant companion. I was complaining, Krishna, I'm so sorry I can't make any advancement. I can't get to the platform. I can't get steady. I said, I'm always doing something stupid. And then I thought, and I was on my bike and I had to stop. I wasn't going to chant. I had to get the door open. So I kept chanting in my mind, just kept letting the mantra go over and over again. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Say it over and over again. Say it till you're tired, then say it some more. The Maha Mantra. And I remember how I used to chant in my mind. You know, when I was trying years ago, I used to just walk and chant. But what happened to that? No. But the holy name can be our constant companion until we realize Super Soul is our constant companion. He's there with us. So you see, Krishna's bombarding us. Don't get me to the point that externally he didn't set the spiritual master. You know, Krishna wants the relationship. So why isn't it working? Because we haven't decided that we want the relationship. So here comes the devotees, the relationship, and this is all japa. If we want a relationship with Krishna, if we want our spiritual heart to open and to become nourished, then we need help. Take shelter of the devotees. The devotees are so powerful. Krishna is in the heart of the devotees. If you take shelter of the devotees, you can't be envious of the devotees. Oh, we call it jealousy. But that envy, soon as one of your god brothers or your peers tell you something to do, hey, you know, you're not my spiritual master. Or even if you don't say it, you think it. But Krishna's trying to send you a message. Krishna works through the devotees. Sometimes he sends a message through the karmis too. Yeah, bam. But you know, the point is Krishna's constantly trying to come. We have to see him. Let the vision change. Don't just see a tree, see Krishna. Don't just see these forms. See that the living entity is in that body. See that the super soul is in that heart. We've got to change our vision at some point. Why not say, this is a reality? Is this not true? See that the modes of passion, ignorance, a little goodness, that the modes are always fighting for support. The modes alone are working. It's not this, the modes. It's either in transcendence or it's the modes. So try to see the mode of passion and ignorance coming. Try to duck it. If you can't transcend it, go the other way. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Call him. This is a sincere attempt to rehabilitate our japa. And I'm going to go to one last point before you start talking with me. Don't think kirtan means you got a great voice. Oh, I learned some Madanga beats. I can't wait to bring my new beats into the kirtan. I'm smoking on the harmonium now. Oh yeah, I got it, you know. Just like mechanical chanting, obligatory chanting, it also extends to chanting kirtan. Kirtan is allowed. Kirtan, just like japa, the holy name. So we develop that relationship. And when we're chanting kirtan, it's big. It's our chants. We're glorifying Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're in love. Hare Krishna, longing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Don't worry that it's not good enough for anybody else to hear. You open that heart. Krishna can hear it. And if you let the heart open, Krishna hears. It's like nectar. He changes us. We gotta beg. We have to need it. The desire is only going to grow in the association of the devotees. The remembrance will only come in the association of the devotees. Lord Chaitanya, those things favorable for the execution of devotional service, asatyaga. Avoid the association of non-devotees. We're not elitists. We're not separatists. Don't give your heart. And serve devotees. Okay. Anyway, I told you, I'm having a little fun. It's time for us to get serious. Can we talk about it? I'm ready. I'm open. I'm ready for conversation. I'm not saying anything. I'm just drinking water. Anyone who wants to start, who wants to open up their mic, let it happen.
Ari, I could really relate to what you're saying. It was really nice realizations that you're giving. But the first reflection that comes to mind with what you just said is that, this morning, actually, when I was leading the morning program in the temple room, I noticed that every time that I sing to Krishna, that there's a little more of a connection, like I'm trying to get deeper. I'm trying to get more connected. And, my reflection, even this morning, and especially after listening to you, is that it really is a gradual process. It takes constant endeavor, and always focusing the mind on wanting to have that relationship and have it be close and loving and special. And it's such a job to break through this material consciousness and mind that it really takes attentiveness. You really, really have to be committed.
That's true. It takes attentive, but it also takes knowledge. We have to understand at the slightest attempt, the false conception of self really wants us covered. What's the difference between us and the false ego? It's a covering. The false ego is just a layer of covering.
And it's the mind, right?
What the false ego is, it can be the mind. It's the mind is the servant of the false ego. False ego can go deeper. The mind is just his servant, but that's another covering. But the false conception of self, the contaminated consciousness, means that the real awareness of who I am and what my business is becomes lost. Because I'm thinking I'm the doer. It's so many. So we have to keep breaking it down. Play around in the third canto sometime with Lord Kapila, but keep going back there. It may seem a little too analytical, but keep going back because it'll keep us in the reality of that. We're weak. And without Krishna, without Guru and Krishna's mercy, we're lost. Because I'm thinking I'm a man. That's false ego. I gotta act like a man in this body, but the point is, at least let me act like a servant of Krishna in this body. So there's so many layers of covering, and the modes are constantly, fighting for supremacy.
Yeah.
And oftentimes passion can drag you down to ignorance. It's going to get you. You start off ignorant, but anyway, you get the point. Okay, come on, start sharing.
Thank you, Ari.
Arya,
Yes?
Prabhu Sangita.
Sangita.
Prabhupada made it very simple to learn what false ego and real ego meant. I remember him saying that false ego means you think you're your material body, and real ego means you know that you're spirit soul. So it was very, very concise and very clear. So whenever you're thinking of your body, that's the false ego. Real ego is I am spirit soul. It's so easy when you think like that. So that's how he simplified it for the simple, he said. We were very simple.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
But even there, Mother, we can't, because Prabhupada's words are strong, and then when he's speaking, but even there, spirit, soul, we're not our body, we're spirit, soul, but Jivansrupahaya, Krishna does, but that we eternal servants of Krishna.
Yes.
Krishna is so thick, we got to keep that in there too, that we're eternally Krishna servant. Otherwise, my false ego gets me again.
And then eventually, when we become pure, then we can realize, he said, even in this life, who we really are in the spiritual world. So it's not necessarily have to wait till you get there. You can, he said, we can realize our true relationship with Krishna and our eternal Leela with Krishna, even in this very life, if you become pure. And it goes back to the chanting. If you can chant with pure heart, then you can eventually realize your true relationship with Krishna. It's all, the key is pure chanting. It's not so simple, but that's the whole crux of the matter. That's why I love listening to your classes, because your classes, you have such enthusiasm for chanting japa that you.
No, I want to have enthusiasm.
Well, you do.
I want to be better.
Yeah, I know. And it's very palpable. You know, it enthuses me to want to chant better. So these classes are very, very important, because it's chanting purely is the whole, it's our goal. It's everything. It's everything. How to realize who we really are, because it's like we're in this world with amnesia. We don't remember, you know, we're walking around thinking we're this, we're man, we're woman, we're white, we're black, we're Indian. I mean, that's the false ego. That has absolutely nothing to do with our true identity. But we just, on so many subtle layers, we have so many subtle layers of attachments. And being a hospice nurse, you know, I see so many devotees at the end of life, and then they realize on their deathbed, you know, how many layers of attachment I have. You know, one devotee said to me, she said when she was dying, you know, she said, I had never even realized how much I relate to being on this planet Earth. You know, she says, I think I'm an earthling. Amazing realization, you know. I think I'm an earthling. I don't belong to Earth. I don't belong to this universe. This isn't who I am, you know. But it was a very subtle layer of attachment that she realized before she passed away. So, you know, the chanting of the Maha Mantra, it erases all of these subtle layers of identity until we peel off each layer and get to the crux of it. We are spirit, soul, eternal servant of the Lord.
Thank you so much, Mother. I think you're feeling better today.
Thank you.
So sweet. Yeah, I found a verse in the Bhagavatam. I know that the holy name, that it dissolves the subtle body. But even I read a verse with Lord Kapila, they said that the pure devotional service does the same thing. And the holy name gives us pure devotional service. Just amazing, this combination. Okay, keep it up, guys. Don't stop.
I just want to add one thing. You know, I was in a class once, and you know, it came up that just to understand how important the holy name is, it came up that the whole purpose of the Vedas is just to unpack the holy name.
Well, Krishna says, by all the Vedas I am to be known. Vedantakrit Vedavid Evachaham. You know? Yeah. And right after the speaking of Bhagavad Gita, here comes Lord Chaitanya. You know, and Lord Chaitanya is continuing what Krishna says, surrender. Lord Chaitanya says, take it. just go forth and sin no more. You know. Kaivalya, I want you to know I left your book at the temple. I don't know who has it, who I gave it to.
He has it. I gave it to him.
Oh, he has it already. Oh, that's so
Hare
wonderful.
Bol Prabhu, thank you very much for your book, Prabhu. It's so nice.
Oh,
I started reading it already. Yes.
I thought it's going to be great for you. Boy John, I'm a fan of Boy John, and he does so much work.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
studying the scripture so diligently.
No, I read his notes on Gita also, and I started reading the Bhagavatam. So thank you very much actually for giving me the book, so I can take full advantage of that.
Thank you, Prabhu.
And thank you for actually giving class on Saturday, every Saturday about Japa. It's very enlivening and actually very encouraging also for all of us.
Well, pray, Kaivalya, pray to Krishna that he purifies me. So
Prabhu, you are really like the soul, you are really practicing seriously and giving us proper example, so what we should do. So thank you for that.
All right, let's move on. Let's get some mercy out here.
Mother Gulokananda Priya has her hand
Yeah,
up.
Prabhu, sorry, I'm unable to listen to your class on Saturday because I address the deities, so I keep on doing services.
Don't be sorry. The deities are smoking, and then so I'm glad that you dress the deities. You do a great job. Yes, Mother.
Okay.
Yeah, I like your comment that Krishna is our constant companion in His holy name. And about yesterday we were reading also, he said, you talk about the Chaitya Guru, Krishna, like the witness, like our Guru all the time. Prabhupada in one purport says that Krishna as Chaitya Guru is eternally present within us. And also I want to comment, I heard one lecture by Radhanath Maharaj. He said, we have to chant the holy name in such a way that Krishna will be happy to hear we're chanting his holy name.
Wow.
But Krishna, yeah.
I love Maharaj because he's got the real deal. The way we chant that's appealing to Krishna is we chant with affection. We all know what affection is. Often our affection is misplaced. It's misplaced on our attachments and things that we think as I love, but affection. When we call Krishna with affection, how could he deny it? As a matter of fact, he's just attracted. And affection, in order to chant with affection, we have to purify ourselves by chanting his name. We engage in the 9 processes of devotional service. As we engage in devotional service, as we approach the scriptures, when we approach the scriptures, we have to approach the scriptures in submission. Now, oh man, what this is great. I got that sloka down. I got this quote. That's knowledge. Jnana. Jnana vijnana triptatma kutasto vijitindriya. Prabhupada says in the purport of that verse, book knowledge without realization is useless. So the realization is that we apply what we have when we open ourselves up. And I love, when sometimes when I'm reading in Bhagavatam, it depends on what section. Some sections like with Prahlad Maharaj, or there's many different sections. When Prahlad is preaching, and in the Bhagavad, it's just on fire. He's preaching. And then Srila Prabhupada's in the purpose, and he's burning it down. It's just too much nectar, because all I want to do at that point is hear them, hear what they have to say. So we have to have a desire to hear. Takshrinu, Krishna told Arjuna, just hear. If we hear properly, then we're willing to act by Krishna's grace. It's all mercy, it's all grace. But the main thing is for us to look at the person beside you. And this is the big point. Look at one another as our, this is our help. The devotees around us are special. And we become stronger every time we appreciate, glorify, serve a devotee. Read with one another, talk about the scriptures. If you don't serve the devotees, you'll be jealous. If you become jealous, you'll become envious, men or women. So we're das, anudas. The material contamination is already there. We want to rid ourselves of it. Therefore, we serve. We serve each other. We glorify the devotees. We don't put them on, we glorify their service. You know what they do. We appreciate. Like, anyway, it's nice. I got to see what's happening. Okay, I'm hitting that zone. So, now, yes?
I wanted to ask you a question with regards to this.
Okay.
Can you talk, what does it, let me phrase this right. What does it say about our faith?
About our faith?
Faith.
Faith?
Our faith, our faith in Krishna, in the process of Krishna consciousness. When we hear about these, things that we should chant with absorption, chant with feeling, that we're an eternal servant of Krishna, and this is our natural state. But yet, despite that understanding, we're still unable to do it. So what is lacking?
Well, what's the main thing that's lacking is that we're conditioned souls. I think we forget that there's something bigger than us. What's bigger than us is Maya. She's bigger than us. We're conditioned. And as a conditioned soul, there's going to be difficulty. We've been in this situation for a long time. I don't know, we can't count it back. That's how long we've been in. So you understand the nature of conditioning. And then we're bombarded with an environment which is not conducive for spiritual development. From within, there's the contaminated consciousness, the lusty mind, the lusty intelligence. I mean, we got some bad stuff going on. But so we're in a kind of bad situation. But it's so interesting because all we have to do is have a little faith, according to Rupa Goswami. Just a little faith. And take that little faith where? And put it in the association of devotees. That's why I tell you, devotees are powerful. So when you associate with devotees, and not just the people that you see, but all the, the scriptures, these are devotees. So when you associate with the devotees, you get knowledge. You get knowledge in motion. You see Krishna's servants. Sir, it's so attractive to see devotees serving a God that you didn't even know exists. And that's why I thought I came around and I see how the devotees love Prabhupada. It just was rocking my world. They'll do anything for Prabhupada. Why? Because they came in contact with another devotee. And so it's infectious. And then as your faith and the sadhu, then you get enough knowledge that you come to the point of, let me commit myself to this. Bhajana Kriya. But down your faith is stronger. So the association and the connection with Guru, that makes your faith even more solidified. And as you try to purify the heart, to purge yourself of these unwanted things in the heart, your faith becomes stronger. You fail some of the tests. Hare Krishna. But your faith is that much stronger now. What the speaker becoming steady, Nista and coming to put him with Ruchi. So my point right now is that when you see the shortcomings that exist in us, it's not It's that we're in a bad age. We're in a bad situation. But all we have to do is with our faith say, Hare Krishna, take shelter of the process. It is the process that is so powerful. Like I say, Sambandha gain knowledge of the relationship. You know that you're eternal servant of Krishna. You know, Abhidaya. Put it in motion. Put that in motion. That is where all the magic is going to, as you struggle to chant, and Krishna sees that, it's, oh, okay, I help you. For some reason, it gets you a taste. If and this is the point. Taking shelter, Namastraya, and taking shelter of Krishna, taking shelter of his name, and waiting for his causeless mercy. That waiting for Krishna's causeless mercy, that shows your faith. You say, I know you're coming. I got to go back there again, Drona. Mommy, my mother said, listen, sit right there. I'm coming back to get you. You can play at the marbles. I'll come back to get you. I can do anything I want because I have faith. My mother is going to come back and get me. Why does the child feel like that? Because he is so attacked. He is so convinced. He's got so much faith and trust in mommy that there's no question of her coming back. And that is the kind of faith and trust we have to develop in Krishna. We look at Krishna like mommy. Krishna says, abandon all varieties of religiosity, the Dharma, and surrender unto me. I shall protect you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Okay, Krishna. Okay. That kind of faith. So your faith will strengthen. All of our faith strengthen. We need the devotees. We need each other. We need the scriptures. We need the engagement and devotional service. It's all a part of the process. I hope that answered it. And if there's something that's still there that you feel as though I didn't hit, tell me.
No.
Oh, Prabhu, I would like to read today's Prabhupada quote that I put on WhatsApp by devotees. You know, like Prabhupada daily is about chanting. It's by your Guru Maharaj. Can I read it?
Yeah.
Okay. He says, hearing the vibration of Hare Krishna automatically remind one of Krishna's pastimes. Both of them arise simultaneously in the mind when one is sincerely chanting. You cannot make any distinction between listening to the sound and thinking of the pastime, but the process is to hear. Then Krishna's pastime, form, qualities, etc. will automatically come to mind. That is very nice. This is a letter to Satsuru Maharaj, April 10, 1969.
Wow. That's a sweet one, Mother. You know, that's a very sweet one.
The devotees, I think there's a daily they put Prabhupada quote on the particular day, like the 9th of April, whatever Prabhupada said. You know, it's very interesting.
You know, that's how I fell in love with my Guru Maharaj. Prabhupada had left the planet and I didn't know what I would do. And I didn't know my Guru Maharaj and I met him. And I was thinking, well, Ravinder Swarup says that Satrup Das Goswami was initiating spiritual master, but he's not interested in taking disciples. And I thought, I'm not initiating taking spiritual master because the Prabhupada's gone. And so I don't know, I'm not interested. And then I kept hearing him say, when I heard him give class, he kept saying, Prabhupada said, Srila Prabhupada said. And I was praying to Prabhupada. I said, Prabhupada, I don't know this Satrup Das Goswami. I said, I know all he keeps saying is Srila Prabhupada said. I said, maybe Srila Prabhupada, he thinks what you say is the best. You'll have to help me. Help me see if I can open up to him. And next time I saw him, I was able to hear. Prabhupada is just so wonderful. And now Satrup Maharaj is so dear to me because he took the pathetic me, but he gave me the thing that I wanted so much in this world. He gave me Srila Prabhupada. Imagine, whatever we get, we want the mercy of Srila Prabhupada.
Is there a link that could be shared, Golokananda Priya, that you have for the daily posting of Prabhupada?
It is on the Philly WhatsApp group. I think somebody has to.
Philly WhatsApp group. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You can post it or
Uh,
in the chat box or something? Or?
okay.
Thank you.
So on the calendar, I don't know if you've ever seen that calendar that every day there's on that particular day, something that Srila Prabhupada had said. So on April 9th, 1972, Srila Prabhupada had quoted this. It's like a calendar. If not, we could link you into the Philadelphia Srila Prabhupada quotes group if you'd like.
On
That would be wonderful. Yeah, that'd be great.
vanipedia.org. John, on vanipedia.org, if you click on a day in the life of Srila Prabhupada, they have a calendar for the whole year, and you can read everything he said and wrote on that day. It's amazing, actually.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a good resource.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I wanna
Haryasha
say-
Prabhu, one last question we have in the
Okay.
maybe and this is a specific question, and I'm going to make it a general question. It was written privately, so this is involving I guess sometimes in a devotee's life, for whatever reason it is, they may drop the number of rounds that they've committed to chanting. How much they drop, I don't know if it's so important, but the idea is that there's a reduction in the chanting. This may be something that many devotees encounter. I don't want to make it specific to one particular person, but how should that be approached?
The daily quota?
Yes.
Drop the daily quota. Well, it's a couple ways you can look at that. One is that initiated devotees take a vow to chant at least 16 good rounds daily. And if a person's not initiated and a person's chanting less rounds, and then they're aspiring to come to the platform of Club 16-4, 16 rounds and 4 regulated principles. Naturally, it hampers their growth, but sometimes when you're on the path, you're up and down and up and down. It's different for initiated devotee. The initiated devotee needs to talk to somebody and chant his round. You know, okay, I heard you. You better, okay, okay, now let's chant. That's it. Just go and chant your rounds. I don't want to hear it. I love you too. Just chant your rounds. Don't do anything. Just chant your rounds. And and be nice to them. Let them feel your heart. If the person is not initiated, then they haven't committed themselves. And sometimes people never commit themselves. So sometimes we go to a certain level in this lifetime, and that's it. But we have to become serious. Serious means that I realize from associating, from reading, that my life, that I need to be connected with the parampara. This is the lifestyle I want. I want to end my other life. I want to start on a spiritual journey with Guru and Krishna. And I want to be initiated into the chanting of Hare Krishna. And if that's my mentality, then pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again, But work towards that goal. But once you get initiated, there's trouble on the royal path. Pick yourself up. People go away for years, whatever. Okay, I love you too. Welcome back home. Because Krishna is so appreciated. Prabhupada said that I think it was Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, that to save a devotee is so much more powerful than going out to make a new devotee. So If devotee has difficulty, it's our fault. We should have an environment which is so loving that devotees don't mind talking and taking shelter of one another. Because I'm not gonna, you're not gonna be ostracized. You're not gonna be put down. You're gonna be loved. And so that's what we do. But we have to work on our relationships. We are all in a hospital. It's a spiritual hospital. And we have to feel loved. If I feel loved, I can tell my older brother anything. He said, man, you act like a real bonehead, But then he helped straighten me up. But in order to hear, we have to be humble. If we're proud, it won't work. We'll think, I know, I got it together. I'm gonna do it my way. Okay. And then humility will come through humiliation. Remember, Krishna doesn't force us to love him. That doesn't work. So this is all part of the process. So whatever it is, devotees talk about it, and they find out that they made a mistake, which is called probably weakness of heart.
Thank you, Haryasha Prabhu.
Okay. All right. I think I've done my thing for the day. Wait, at some point, we got two things. Now, I chat on a Bhakti Garden link at 5:30 in the morning. I don't think a lot of people are interested in joining me from 5:30 to 7:30. But if you want to reform, you'll join me at 5:30 because that ain't 2:15, And if you want to join at the temple here at the early, then still come together. I'm not on this one, but you come together, you chant, you find association. You make sure that you chant in association and that we try to go further. At some point, I'm going to do something. I'm going to talk to Mother Sita. She was saying that she was going to say, I want to do something on the lawn. I got to come outside. We got to chant enough already. See, I got both of my shots. Most people around, we got both of our shots. Y'all better get both of your shots or get the one shot, okay? Let's get this thing over with. We need to be chanting, still being careful, but the spring is here. Get outside. Anyway, Vanchakalpa Trubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu
Bevacha, Patichanam, Yo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha.
Announcement real quick. This tomorrow for the Sunday feast, His Grace Balabhadra Prabhu will be giving class, and he's actually in Philadelphia, so he'll be physically present at the temple. I wanted to give out a special invitation to everybody that's on this group. We're not putting it out to the whole congregation because there'll be too many people will come, but special invitation to the devotees in this group. We have enough for 15 people in here. We have enough for 15 people in the temple room. If you'd like to come and hear the class, in person, please come. Please be there before 5 o'clock. If you're going to come.
I'm coming.
We don't want to be running back and forth because we don't have that type of thing. We don't keep the doors open. So if you want to come, please come by 4:30 is kirtan. Please, please come by 4:30. We don't do this every week because a lot of our classes are still being done by Zoom and we're still trying to regulate. But just for this one time, you want to come and hear Balabhadra Prabhu in person. We'll, for this group of people, we want to extend a special invitation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right, Mother Renika, am I going to meet you at the party?
Donatya Prabhu, can you please share the code? Because I cannot share this on chat.
What code?
There's the one that I just read. Can you share it to the devotee was asking? Dr.
Yeah, I don't have it. It's on my phone. I don't know how to link it up directly, but I think
I'll get it to John.
Mother Sangeeta gave the
Okay.
We'll get it to him.
Where we can give it. And I'll
want to thank you so much. I want to thank all of you devotees. You were sharing, you were getting involved. Thank you, Mother Sangeeta. I love your clear voice of intelligence, Mother Sangeeta is the oldest devotee around here, She's been here the longest. She was in Filthy before I came. So any of us came. So anyway, thank you so very, very much.
Mother Sangeeta, I like that Prabhupada's asana and everything looks so beautiful. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for the
Yeah,
She's done
darshan.
so
amazing.
many
For
beautiful
the
ones.
darshan. Thank you very much.
But she's not alone. She works her husband to the bone. That's what wives do. She used to work home and day so hard on those on Prabhupada's appearance day after Janmashtami.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Beautiful. It
that's
looks
their own.
beautiful.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna. Glory to
Hare
Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.